Hello everyone and welcome back. This is going to be my review of Graveyard Shift Volume 2 by Jon Malin. Jon Malin is, of course, a comicsgate talent. And I do have the first volume of Graveyard Shift. I have the third volume also, and I'll be doing a review of that somewhere down the line. The art is by Malin. The dialogue is by Mark Poulton. So, if you're not familiar, Graveyard Shift is a group of superheroes who are based off of the old Universal Studios monsters, Dracula, Frankenstein, and all that. Basically, these people were resurrected by a corrupt corporation called the Atlantis Corporation. And Atlantis was run by Abraham Van Helsing, who is a descendant of the original Van Helsing. Now, it turned out they were also turning members of Congress into vampires in this plot to take over the government. As part of this plot, Van Helsing ran for president and he won. In the first volume of Graveyard Shift, they exposed this plot, and the story just sort of picks up from there. I guess a lot of the public doesn't believe it because Van Helsing, where is it here? So he's still president and he's actually pretty popular. He's having this press conference or rally of some sort in front of the White House, and then Graveyard Shift, they just sort of fly in this jet, and they've got this sort of floating fortress thing here, and it's got this kind of heat ray weapon on it, and it's run by this AI, and so the leader, Vlad Blood, I believe is his name, Dr. Blood, he's kind of the leader, and he orders the AI in this fortress to fire on the president, and the AI is like, yeah, that's going to kill a lot of people. You could kill millions of people doing that. And Blood is just like, screw it, do it anyway. And the AI is like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then he just does this manual override and fires anyway. Okay, sure. But it doesn't kill Van Helsing, and so he's able to escape. And he gets away on Air Force One, and then the heat ray, they're using the heat ray to try and shoot him out of the sky. And then he's got these servants who give him a jetpack to escape in case the plane gets shot down. And it gets knocked out of the sky, right? So then he flies off in his jetpack to get away, and it turns out that the plane was hit by Cthulhu. So Cthulhu just, shows up. Okay, sure. And so he flies away, and it turns out that there's this guy, this aquatic character, and he was also created by the Atlantis Corporation, and I guess he's supposed to be analogous to the creature of the Black Lagoon, I suppose. And Van Helsing, in his jetpack, he flies to New York. He lands in front of the UN. And then Graveyard Shift, they land and they confront him. And then Van Helsing turns into a werewolf. And they get into a battle with him. And he injures Dr. Blood, pretty badly and is going to finish him off. And then this other character, Monster Girl, she shows up and she shoots Van Helsing and wounds him. And then the Frankenstein guy, Mick is his name, he stops Van Helsing from killing the girl. And then Van Helsing, he's dying from his wound, so then he begins this chant and he conjures up Dracula, which is kind of confusing because, again, Dr. Blood is supposed to be kind of like this sort of different version of Dracula, but then we have actual Dracula, okay? And I guess it turns out that Van Helsing's whole plot to take over the government and everything, that's all with vampires. That was actually all Dracula's plot, and Van Helsing was serving him. And then Dracula gives them a chance to surrender, basically says, surrender and swear loyalty to me and you'll live. And it's about at this point where I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't Cthulhu here a minute ago? What happened to him? But then he does show up, and then this big battle ensues, and they're losing. And how you can lose when Cthulhu is basically on your side, I don't know, but somehow they're losing. And Blood, he's dying, so then he tells the AI to basically fire on their position, bring in, fire the heat beam down where they are, because that's the only way they're going to be able to beat Dracula. So it fires, and Dracula does get killed in the process. And when they wake up in the aftermath of it all, they meet the aquatic guy, and I guess he's saying, we need to talk. As he says, it's time for the abominations to take down the real monsters. Okay. But again, what Cthulhu? I mean, isn't Cthulhu supposed to be basically the end of the world? When Cthulhu shows up, it's all over, right? I guess not. So, I mean, overall, this is a fun comic. It reminds me a lot of early Image stuff. It's got pretty slick art. Good production values, cover looks great and everything. Malin's always been really good about getting his stuff out on time and getting it to you. And he delivers. I mean, he gives you kind of what he advertises, which is a good-looking comic with lots of action. I don't know that it entirely all adds up and makes sense. It's kind of like a Michael Bay movie. You kind of go along for the ride. Things look cool. Cool effects and everything, lots of action. And certainly the book does deliver in that sense. Anyway, I do give this book a thumbs up. It's good enough. Just don't expect much beyond the art. I mean, Cthulhu, you got to admit, Cthulhu looks really awesome here. I mean, look at that. That looks great. But again, it's like, isn't that the end of the world? I mean, you're basically in the middle of your second issue and you've already brought Cthulhu in, and it's kind of like, where do you go from there? Anyway, have you read Graveyard Shift? If you did you like it? And did you agree or disagree with my review? Let me know in the comments, and also please like, share, and sub to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.